Hello, welcome to episode 22 of Full Movie Podcast, a show where we talk about those long-forgotten classics that deserve a rewatch. I'm your Vulcan Matt.
And I'm your Venus Freya.
You are my Venus.
Oh, thank you.
How's it going?
It's going good. I am most excellent. Thank you for asking.
Something tells me you're gearing up for a certain threequel that's coming out soon.
It could be. I've got Bill and Ted on my mind.
You probably had worse on your mind than Bill and Ted.
Definitely have,
Yes.
yeah.
Do you know what the full title is?
Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Yes, indeed.
Which is ominous.
Yes, it is. And I'm confused about the prison scene, but okay.
I mean, they've already died, so...
Yeah, true. That was bogus.
It was bogus.
Yeah. I will quickly say, Bill and Ted annoy me.
Why?
So, all my DVDs are in alphabetical order.
Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, because it's in alphabetical order, it goes Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Next to it is Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It should be the other way around.
Yes,
Really bugs me.
I can see how that's... Just get a box set and that'll solve the problem. Once the third one comes out on DVD.
Okay, I can do that.
How are you, anyway?
I am groovy. We've been getting quite a bit of, just positive vibes coming through on Instagram. We've got a fair few new followers. We've had quite a few lovely messages about last episode of The Exorcist. So
Fabulous.
That's spiffing.
Yeah, that's really grand. I'm glad to hear it.
Yes, and thank you everybody who sent messages, given us likes, whatnot, the shares, the comments. It's been really nice. Thank you, people of the internet.
Indeed, thank you. So, what film are we talking about today?
Late 18th century, the Age of Reason. Wednesday. We're doing The Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
The fantastic tale of an aristocrat, his talented henchmen, and a little girl in their efforts to save a town from defeat by the Turkish army.
That's a good synopsis.
Well, thank you. I didn't write it.
Oh. No. It was good. Yeah. Pretend it was you.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you very much. I wrote it all myself.
Directed by Terry Gilliam, who did Monty Python's Holy Grail, Time Bandits, Monty Python's The Meaning of Life, Brazil, 12 Monkeys, and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. It was written by Terry Gilliam, as well as Charles McKeon, I think that is, yes, who did, again, Brazil, Ripley's Game, which was not very good.
That's the sequel to Talented Mr. Ripley, isn't it?
I think it may be a prequel.
Prequel? Oh, whatever.
It's something. Not a good franchise, I will say that. Right. In fact, I didn't particularly like Talented Mr. Ripley that much.
Did you not? I can't remember it.
Yeah, it's not great. He also did Plunkett and McLean. It is based on the novel by Berger and Rasp of the same name. Excellent. I mean, it's not called Berger and Rasp.
No.
It's called The Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
Indeed.
So, how do you feel about this film?
I have such a fondness for this film, and I guess I was a little bit worried that I wouldn't be as fond in rewatching it, but definitely I am. I still really love it. I know it's a big old nonsense, but I still think it's fantastic, and actually I wish there was more of it.
Okay.
Do you disagree?
I semi-disagree.
Okay.
I think that it was fun.
Yes.
It was strangely innocent.
Yeah.
I know you're going to come back to that later on.
We'll talk about that.
I think that it's a film that should have been made a lot earlier, like maybe in the 70s, not in like 1989. It doesn't actually look that good. The sets, the costumes, brilliant.
Yeah.
The cinematography, crap. There's a lot of angles which I don't particularly like and a lot of errors.
Yeah.
But I still quite like the film. I think John Neville is is it John Neville?
Yeah.
Yeah, John Neville as the Baron is fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely adore Eric Idle.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the character.
Berthold.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, it is. I love Eric Idle in
I love him in everything too. Yeah. He's such a cheeky chappy.
He is fantastic. He's a proper Cockney fun guy. I like him. But yeah, there was something about it that I wasn't very keen on. It didn't hold my attention that much.
Didn't it?
No.
Huh, okay.
I got a little bit bored.
I get that because the plot is bonkers.
Yeah.
And it kind of meanders all over the place and seems very disjointed. But I think that, it falls into that category of slightly offbeat fantasy adventure that I really love.
I really love those as well.
Like, Princess Bride, Willow, Legend, that sort of category of...
Is Legend offbeat?
Yeah, definitely.
Is it?
You haven't seen it for a long time. We'll watch it.
I didn't think it was really a kind of funny film.
It's not necessarily funny, but it's definitely unusual in its plot and what happens, and there is comedy in it. We're not discussing Legend.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
We'll get to that. I promise you.
Yes.
But yeah, I really didn't mind the messiness of the film.
Okay.
Because I love the characters so much. The only thing that I really wish was that it had been... You said it should have been made earlier, but I think it should have been made kind of more now.
Okay.
I think it would have been brilliant as one of the big budget TV series.
Well, like a Netflix thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Like The Witcher or other shows.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other big
There
budget.
are other shows
Yeah,
available.
there are.
But yeah, I think it just would be brilliant to have, the modern treatment. It's not like I'm saying, it should be remade. I just wish that it was the same thing, but now.
Okay, no, I get that. And I would probably like that a lot more, I will say. I mean, again, I'm not going to say that I didn't like it, because I do like the film. I realised it has been a very long time since I've seen this film. There was just something. It didn't hold my attention all the time. So, the acting in it is a brilliant pedigree of actors and actresses in this. It's just like fantastic that way. There's a lot of, apart from Robin Williams and Uma Thurman, Uma Thurman, this was her first film, even though people will say it was Dangerous Liaison, it wasn't. Basically, the reason for that is that The Adventures of Baron Munchausen was filmed before Dangerous Liaison.
Oh, okay.
So technically, Adventure of Baron Munchausen was her first film, but Dangerous Liaison was released before Adventure of Baron Munchausen. Let's just say that the British cast, not to take away from Robin Williams and Uma Thurman, are fantastic and absolutely stellar. A lot of presences from stage and screen. I mean, John Neville himself wasn't much of a film or TV actor. He did a lot of theatre, and I mean proper Gielgud theatre. Is that right terminology?
Sure.
John Gielgud? No, it's not John. It's someone. He was a.
This
he was
isn't a
posh
theatre
one.
podcast.
He was a good one.
Yeah.
He probably starred alongside Brian Blessed in Macbeth or something.
Sure.
But yeah, it had like Eric Idle, Oliver Reed. Oh, I love Oliver Reed. Absolutely adore Oliver Reed. The guy who wrote it, the Charles McKeon, he's the sniper guy.
Okay. Yeah.
He plays that. You've got Jack Pulvis, who's the little guy, the dwarf guy. Then you've got Jonathan Pryce. Jonathan Pryce is always good in everything. Bill Patterson, no relation to Robert. Peter Jeffrey, Uma Thurman, as I said. Alison Steedman. She's awesome. Which I always forget that's Thingy's mum, Gavin's mum from Gavin
and Stacey. I thought I recognised her.
Yeah, I always forget. Oh yeah, it's her. I'm sure a lot of people know her from that. But yeah,
she's in lots of other stuff as well.
Yeah. Robin Williams and Sting.
Oh yes, very brief cameo.
Yes, and I'll tell you a quick fact about that. The only reason he's in this film is because he lived next door to Terry Gilliam.
Oh, right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's got quite a high pedigree of talent in there.
Yeah.
But it's a mess.
It is a mess. I agree.
It is. It's a hot mess.
It's a beautiful mess.
It's like Kate Moss. It's a hot mess. I mean, I don't know if she's a mess. She might be all right. It's like Billie Eilish. That's the first name that pops into my head. A hot mess. I don't know. Is she a hot mess?
Take your word for it.
I don't understand that sort of culture now. But it's a hot mess.
It's not meant for you, darling.
No, it's not meant for me. But yeah,
Well,
it's a hot mess.
I just wanted to take a moment to talk about the fact that this film is a PG.
Right, okay.
It really shouldn't be.
Okay.
Well, I mean, a 12, okay? I mean, it has a nip slip.
Yes.
You see old Uma's nipple.
Yeah.
Very briefly. You missed it, I had to rewind it.
Yeah, so just quick backstory. Basically, whenever there's boobs on screen, Freya says, boobs. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Or I will go, boobs. And Freya will go, oh, yeah. You know,
Yes.
That's our relationship. We
Yep.
point out boobs to each other.
Only on film, though.
Only on film, yeah. We're not just walking down the street going, boobs! No. No, but yeah, on film. And you didn't shout it out to me last night.
I'm sorry, I just...
And then we watched it and rewound it back to the scene. And it was just the slightest. It's like a millimetre above the bottom of the TV screen.
Still counts. Anyway, then it also talks about orgasms and the whole On the Moon segment with Ray DeTutti,
Yeah.
Robin Williams. I mean, it's very, very sexual.
Yes, it is.
He talks about orgasms. They refer to him tickling the Queen of the Moon's feet, which he actually is,
Yes.
but it's very much like he's tickling her feet.
Yeah. The bit where they're blowing up the knickers as well.
Yeah. Also, there's a bit where Robin Williams again says, "I'm your elephant of joy," and he does a kind of trumpeting from his crotch area.
Right, okay.
And there's quite a lot of beheadings.
Oh, God, yeah, this is... it's not particularly bloody, but it is quite gory for a PG. I mean, we see a line of, 10 guards getting their head decapitated.
Yeah, right at the
You
beginning.
can't get your hand decapitated.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
No.
But then you've also got the Sultan's treasury guy,
Yeah.
which is a brilliant way to be decapitated, because he gets decapitated, and then I've got to stop saying decapitated. And it lands on a woman's lap, and then he winks at the woman, which I think that's kind
class,
of brilliant. You know, I'd do that. That was my last dying moment. Like, all right, darling, you know, all right, treacle, give him a wink.
But they really managed to get away with a lot, and maybe that's because they didn't watch it. They were like, I can't be bothered to watch this. Let's just pass it as a PG. I'm insulting a film I like, but you know.
Yeah, sure, which is fine. I mean, again, I will say this: I don't dislike it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what is your favourite scene?
My favourite scene has to be the entrance of Uma Thurman's character Venus.
Oh, yeah,
because it's a Venus de Milo entrance.
a live action one.
That's what it's based on, and she comes out of this clam. She's nude, and then these flying handmaidens drape her in silks.
Yeah,
and then she just very delicately and casually sits down and says hello, and it's just beautiful. And she is absolutely stunning.
She is absolutely stunning. She is one of my first female loves when I was a bit older. But yes, I think she is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. How about you?
My favourite scene is a bit of a cheat.
Okay.
Here, I will say, because it is actually the whole first Sultan scene.
Oh yeah.
Where they do the wager, and I mean, apart from it being comedic gold with Eric Idle doing the run-in and the dwarf tapping his feet
it kind of showcases the Baron and his henchmen at their best.
Exactly.
When they were young and they still had all their skills. So
yeah. And I think just all of that bit is very, very funny.
Yeah.
Even to the bit where the sword comes down and Bertrand comes in and stops it and everything, just as the one pebble falls down the hourglass.
Yeah.
And then the Baron turns around and goes, I could have done with a trim. We're picking up that bit of hair that the sword has taken off.
Just snips off his ponytail.
Yeah, I think that's very funny, and I did enjoy that. There are other scenes which are good, but that is definitely the one that stands out. If I'm honest, I really quite like the ending.
Yeah.
Because you think it's going to end on this sad note with the Baron dying or being assassinated.
Yeah.
And it ends on such a positive thing.
Yeah.
And open the gate sort of thing.
Yeah.
I just like that. I think it's
Yeah.
very positive and nice.
It is, yeah.
What's your favourite line?
My favourite line is from The King of the Moon,
Mm-hmm.
Ray de Tutti.